Welcome to StoryBreakers, a show where we silently read a brand new children's novel every single episode.
No, we don't do that.
Just once.
Do the real intro, please.
Okay. Welcome to StoryBreakers, a show where we come up with a brand new film idea every single episode, and if you like it, it's yours. Hi, I'm your host, Chris Brennan, and let me introduce you to our co-host, Mr. Stephen Ryan.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing?
Not too bad.
All right, episode 4.
We're like a series now.
Yeah, it's cool. And we have a special guest today.
We do indeed.
Writer, director, post-production extraordinaire, I suppose.
Maybe.
The founder of co-founder of Two Joker Films.
Co-everything.
Paul Bushe.
Hello.
Woo!
Hello.
How are you doing? Welcome.
Good. Thanks for having me.
So what are you up to these days?
What am I up to these days? A lot. Working with Brian O'Neill, my co-writer, co-director, co-everything. And we're getting geared up to shoot our first feature together this year, maybe around June time, bit of an action flick, so should be something different.
Oh, I've seen that promo. That was unbelievable.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
That actually inspired me to do that promo that we're doing for StoryBreakers. It's going to come out next month. I think we posted a photo of that on Twitter.
I did indeed.
It's a sneak peek. Yeah,
Very
but it was
cool.
directly in relation to that.
Good. Well,
I didn't know people...
as long as you're not better than us, that's okay.
Yeah. No, for what?
Friendly rivalries.
Friendly rivalry, you need it to keep good, so...
Okay, cool. So, before we get into things, we actually have some more correspondence. I thought maybe I should just read it off.
For some reason, people like to talk to us on Twitter.
It's unbelievable. Okay, so this is based on the Gremlins one we did.
Episode 2.
Yeah, it was the Gremlin reboot. If you haven't heard it, you can check it out on the iTunes account. And we just rebooted Gremlins. For us, we put it on a boat. And we asked people what their version would be. So we got a couple of different versions. I'm going to read it out now. Like A and B Film Podcast said that they would do it in modern times. No reboot, just a pure sequel with Gizmo being handed over to a grandson. Not an origin story, which I agreed with. And we didn't even do an origin story. And then with a little help from Stephen here, they basically agreed that it should be set in an airport and the kid is going off to college, which I think is actually really good. Like, you can have so much fun with the shenanigans of those creatures.
Die Hard 2.
I was just thinking that exact
Die
same
Hard 2
thing.
with Gremlins. That could be cool, though. I love Die Hard 2.
Blow up a gremlin in the X-ray machine, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gizmo McLean.
Yeah, and our old buddies at Blokebusters podcast had another idea where they would do it as a reboot with slightly more intelligent gremlins and put it in the New York subways.
Did they take that drug from the second one? The one where it makes them all smart?
Yeah, that's right. It sounds kind of like Kelsey Grammer.
Metaphorically speaking, of course.
So cool, yeah. So thank you so much for giving us those ideas. Like, we love to hear it. And we also have a couple of people asking for future episodes. There's at Painter Man was saying that we should do an animated episode soon, and the suggestion is we try to do it like the Studio Ghibli stuff. Okay. Have you ever seen any of that, Stevie?
No, I've heard of it though.
Yeah,
that's like
the
Japanimation kind of style, isn't it?
Yeah, similar to that. Yeah, that kind of thing. It'll take some creativity though. Like, we're gonna have to start thinking of like,
we're gonna have to eat a lot of oily fish and omega trees just to get our brain power going.
But look, I'll accept that challenge. Okay, and I saw that this week we were chatting about bad sequels, and that seemed to get a lot of fun attention online.
Yeah, people love bad sequels.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, what if we do a future episode where we actually take a film that doesn't have a sequel and we'll just sequelize it? We'll just make one up.
Sweet.
I have no idea which one, so perhaps our listeners might suggest something like that.
Good luck.
Yeah, okay. And then we asked as well, we were looking for a reboot for this episode, so Stevie put up on Twitter the 4 options for films, and just asked for like ideas, but you only put up 4 photos.
Yeah, I put up 4 photos just to kind of inspire people,
Yeah.
like 4 pretty bad movies or indifferent movies, I suppose.
Yeah, and at Darren Harrop, is that it?
That's correct. Yeah, he got back to us with Face Off.
Yeah, so it looks like we're doing Face Off.
Yeah.
So are you saying Face Off is average?
Yes, I am saying Face Off is average.
Ooh.
We will see at the end of this episode if we come up with a better movie or not, and then I'll rejig my answer to that, okay?
Well, I think it's a good idea since we have somebody who's so action inclined as well.
Face Off to me is incredible.
Really?
Oh, I love it. Face Off shaped my view of films big time.
My mother brought me to see Face Off in the cinema.
Yeah.
One of those early rated R.
Yeah.
She had her hands over her ears. It was so loud. And me and my brother just eyes open going, there's so many pigeons.
It's amazing. Just
That was
exploding things. Oh,
that was a crazy movie. Do you realise that Michael Douglas got the script off the writers, and they hoped that he was going to star in it with Harrison Ford, that they were going to be the 2 leads, and then Michael Douglas then went on to produce it
Michael
instead.
Douglas and who?
Harrison Ford.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did Michael Douglas produce it?
He did produce it.
Wow, okay.
Right.
I remember when I watched it before, I seen Michael Douglas produced by Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Like, that could be obviously any Michael Douglas in the world. How is it going to be Gordon Gekko?
Yeah,
or
IMDb has like 35 Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Mickey Douglas.
Michael D. Douglas,
Yeah.
Michael P. Douglas.
Okay, so I say we reboot that, right?
Yeah, why not?
That sounds fun. I think there's actually there's enough there to work with it. Like,
It's an amazing concept.
and did you know that when it came out, like before it came out, when it was originally written, it was set in the future, and you can actually tell that because there was this odd prison scene with magnetic boots.
Yeah,
it does feel kind of out of place in this environment. Everything is right now, and then there's Nicolas Cage stuck to the floor.
Those magnetic boots belong to Super Mario 1986. Remember Super Mario 1986?
Yeah, I do.
They were the boots from that movie.
Well, from like Bowser and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Check
it's
out
like those
IMDb.
reused Starship Troopers uniforms. You see them in the Firefly Firefly Pilot.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know if it's the pilot, the train episode. The soldiers are wearing the outfits.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, so I guess before we start this, we can set it in the future, the past, or the present. Now, I'd say,
Past.
This is a StoryBreakers game, of course.
yeah. So I mean, saying that the past could put us into a bit of complications due to the fact that we're switching faces. So we can keep it contemporary, or we can try to go in the future a bit.
I'll go with what you want because it's your show. But
I think
whatever you want.
contemporary. I think,
Present.
yeah, let's do it now, and we just take things for
Alright.
granted.
However, I do have to say, like, I don't mind who we have, but this seems like it's really important as who's
Oh, we need to get the cast. Yeah, we need to
The
get the cast.
casting is the
kind
hardest.
of leads it.
Yeah.
Now, my only issue with Face Off when it came out, like, I didn't mind it, but now thinking about it, they had these two actors that are pretty much the same kind of role. Like, they would be going to the same auditions, Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
They both do
They're
wacky
kind of-
well.
Yeah, they're kind of interchangeable. So what if we just made our own twist on it? We had like two people who are seemingly different. Like they're really different types of people, you know? Like you could have like your Hollywood A-lister.
Lucy Liu and Danny DeVito.
Yeah, well, let's say like you have your, just throw names out, like a Ryan Gosling type. Then you don't want to go with a Jake Gyllenhaal because they look so similar. You want to go with someone like Michael Shannon, who like you cannot find another guy who would be remotely near
I know what
Michael
you mean.
Shannon.
But isn't part of but maybe it's just a narrative of that film you do want them to be somewhat alike? Because the reason they swap faces is so they can infiltrate, so John Travolta can infiltrate. I mean, I suppose it depends on our plot, the casting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know,
No,
though.
we're making it up.
Yeah.
It can be whatever we want.
Okay.
I think, though, that was one of the sticky points on the first one, was John Travolta's head is massive, and Nicolas Cage doesn't really have that big of a head. So like, I think we can take that liberty.
Had that laser thing going on the screen, and they showed his bones. They make it up. It's fine.
See, like, I think even for characterization, wouldn't it be more interesting if you had a character who was struggling to pretend to be the other guy instead of just kind of drifting into that character?
Yeah.
Easily. Like it took Nicolas Cage to do drugs, and I don't know what he was doing. He was clawing at his face and his eyes open. Like he had to go that far to pretend to be somebody else,
He went full Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. Like, it might be more interesting to just kind of have them like swap faces, but now they have to like be another character that they're not quite used to. It's kind of like the Switch, like
Or Freaky Friday.
yeah, we're kind of like the whole thing was similar to that anyway because we're switching faces.
Freaky Friday with guns, yeah.
Okay, so I don't know.
I'm cool with Michael Shannon. I like Michael Shannon. I think he's a good way to go.
All right.
Okay.
Who would be his?
But is he the good guy or the bad guy?
He's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy. So he starts off as the good guy, basically, and then turns into the
I
bad
don't think
guy.
he starts off. Sean Archer's the good guy. Castor Troy's the bad guy. I love those names. I still remember them to this day. So Castor Troy, starting out, would be Michael Shannon. What do you think? He looks like a bad guy.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So when they switch faces, he's the bad guy pretending to be Sean Archer.
Cool.
So we just have to figure out
Yes.
our lead. I don't mind him being one of them sexy Hollywood types, right? Or do you want somebody different?
It's the type of thing you kind of need someone who can do wild.
Okay.
I don't know, because it's such a mad concept. What's it going to do to your brain? What's this doing to you? I don't know. Or you could go your way, go with someone a lot smaller, even go with the girl. I don't know how far you want to go with this. You want to go into a comedy?
Oh,
Do we want to make this a comedy
My
now or
wife,
something?
my wife was demanding that I at least mention the fact that we get a white guy and a black guy and switch the faces. She was like, "You better say that." And I only remembered now, but we won't because we want to keep it in the spirit of Face Off, which I like.
Okay.
It was dead serious.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look for our version of it.
Well, Ben Affleck. Would he work? Maybe.
His build is a bit like Michael Shannon's, though, isn't it? He's kind of
I like that though, but he has enough of a distinctive character
He can
himself.
play both roles as well. He can do good bad guy, he can do a good guy as well. Do you remember Gone Girl? I didn't know if I was rooting for him or going against him. So I think he'd be a good guy.
Cool.
Okay, so it's Ben Affleck is Sean Archer and Castor Troy, the bad guy, is Michael Shannon.
Cool.
Okay, so also at the beginning of Face Off, it started with this like merry-go-round.
That's it.
And they were like blood feud enemies from the beginning. What do you think if it was either we kept that, or maybe they were like co-workers, like they were colleagues, and we started off with them like feuding with each other or something, just to make it something different. Like we don't know why they hate each other at the start, and all of a sudden he shoots like, the kid. He kills John Travolta's kid, but did he shoot like through John Travolta and kill the kid or something?
Yeah, he went to kill John Travolta and hit the kid's head or something like that.
Yeah. So what if it was like instead of that, like we start them out like in this cool, like I said, we start with like an action scene or something. But maybe they're like coworkers or colleagues or partners, and something happens there that just breaks it off. So we've seen the start of a rivalry, and we can kind of allude to like maybe like 6 months later, 2 years later, whatever, and is now this guy that they're searching for. Like the Sean Archer character is looking for his partner that like did something really heinous, screwed him over.
But he's a rat or something like that.
Yeah, it's just something that'd be cool.
Or maybe like one of them is in, say, Michael Shannon. He's in deep cover. He's undercover. They are a partnership though, but he starts to drink the Kool-Aid and he's into it. He gets into it. They got to extract him. It all goes wrong. He goes missing. Ben Affleck has to go after him.
So we're saying
something, I don't know.
Sean Archer and Castor Troy are both undercover cops or FBI or
something like that. Maybe they work together.
Well, maybe Michael Shannon's character. He's just undercover and he's liaising with Ben Affleck's character.
Yeah, it could be like his minder.
Who was
Has there been? Does that actually? I'm not even sure. Is there a thing where you can get two people like basically undercover at the same kind of thing, or they don't say one person? Because it'd be a good dynamic if it was like two guys going in and you can see them bickering with each other. They're a bit playful with each other, going like, "Stop it!
You're being obvious now. Stop! You're being obvious."
And then Castor Troy actually screwed him over, and they kind of joins the other side. That'd be cool because you get introduced to these two guys. They can banter with each other, and they go in.
But what if you did it this way? What if it's a reverse face-off? So Castor
Face
Troy,
on.
Face on,
face left alone.
That's our title. Face on.
Face on. But they both go into cover, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Sean Archer, he stays the good guy. Castor Troy starts to turn evil, and then he rats out Archer to the baddies, and they decide we'll do the face-off, we'll do the swap of the faces. So the baddies actually initiate the face swapping, so that they can infiltrate the FBI or something. So it's a kind of reverse in the concept.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Wow, that is wrapping it around completely.
Yeah, it's like The Departed, like where you send the guy to infiltrate. Yeah, I like that.
So we're swapping it around from the
But see, immediately we're doing something different with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one way we went with this, and it would be pretty much the same way they went, with less electronic magnetic boots. But, like, let's have some fun with it. Like, we're just taking the premise of switching faces and we do what we want. I like that. So you're saying that it was initiated not by the, say, lack of a better organization, FBI.
Yeah.
It was. Should we just say the FBI?
Yeah. Say the FBI, yeah. I think it is FBI.
No, it's just for ours. Like, we can say whatever we want. So let's say FBI. So it was the dealers that did the switch of a face.
Yeah, the bad guys.
And it's then, we'll go back a little bit, but just to clear this up so we know where we're going, it would be Sean Archer waking up without a face and finding Castor Troy's face and having to put that on. So in the other one, it was the villain waking up.
And it's not waking up in like a high-tech, gorgeous place. It's like some dank basement.
Yes, that is
great.
You
know, like lying on a bucket of ice or something.
Rusty utensils.
Drip.
You're like the Joker having put his face back on.
He has his roommate has missing a kidney and they're selling his
kidney
on eBay.
And then, what if he then, when he puts the face on, like, it doesn't really go that well, so he has like a scar or something. I like one of them not to have done it, like, the idea that you have it in a dingy, dirty place, they can still have a professional doing it.
Exactly.
But maybe the guy is nervous and messes up, or maybe the guy gets shot in the middle of it, or there's something that happens. So now, like, Sean Archer, I'm gonna try to not be confusing here, I think. So whenever I say the name Sean Archer, that's Ben Affleck. And when I say Castor Troy, that's Michael Shannon. Even though they switch faces, the name will stay the same as the character.
Of who they originated as.
Yeah, it's who they originated as. So Ben Affleck wakes up, freaks out, comes to find out what happened, and there's no other option. Is the face
back on him when he wakes up?
I don't think that they're, like, I like that in the last one, they weren't going to put his face They weren't going to put Castor Troy's face on him.
Yeah,
he woke up with his...
It was Castor Troy snatching his face. A good old-fashioned face snatch, you know?
But could they do more with that? Could they say, hey, we're gonna swap these guys' faces, and then we're gonna burn... we're gonna burn up Ben Affleck's body, so it looks like Michael Shannon is dead, but Ben Affleck is dead.
That's great.
And will infiltrate, and now there's no
I think
there's no loose ends.
This guy going. I like that. So then now we don't have to find a way to put the face onto Michael Shannon, to put the.
We're getting confused ourselves.
Oh my god, it's so confusing.
We just call them Ben Affleck and Michael Shannon.
Okay, yeah. So we don't have to put the face on Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
like they do that anyway.
Or they're nearly done. You get your scar, some cool ass scar going on. Or
so he wakes up in the middle of this and fights back.
Yeah.
And then you also have, instead of I need a face, I'll just take whatever face is left. You have that moment where like he fights back. If you were going to shoot this, it'd be quite shadowy. You don't see his face, and then he catches a reflection, and it's this fucking enemy looking back at him. He had no idea for like that whole sequence that he looked like the other guy. Like that would be epic.
That'd be cool.
That would mess your mind up as well.
Yeah.
How could
now your hero is totally messed up.
He doesn't even know who he is at this point. As much as we
I'm
don't.
kind of liking it. So I mean, I think do we want to go back and figure out some more, or do we want to keep going with this? I think we jumped right in. So
yes, keep going.
Like in terms like this, we like to say like this is first draft, so we can build them to that point. But we know that's the point where we're going. Like just to fix it quickly, like we can say that at a state they were partners at some point, or they were close. Michael Shannon screws over Ben Affleck, and then they start a feud with each other. And then when Affleck's close to catching him, like years later or so, Affleck gets captured, and that's when they have him in that little shithole dungeon place where they switch faces. So that kind of leads us in there, but we're not going to spend too much time digging it because it's the first act. We want to get these guys into the
Let's
room.
get the juicy bit.
We want to get to the jump. Let's get Act 2.
Yeah, totally. So now we have Ben Affleck with a new face on, and and now we want, like, of course, what's he want to do? He wants to get his face back. So that's a face off to face back.
I like that. That's mint.
Can we keep the Facebook symbol and the Facebook F and put in face back?
Yeah. So I say his motivation isn't infiltration now, which John Travolta's was. His motivation is I want my face back.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So just quickly, then we won't spend too much time on the motivation of Michael Shannon. Like, he's infiltrating the FBI. Like, you want to have a discussion about what he's trying to do? I think it'll help the plot later. Like, what's he attempting to get out of it?
Well, maybe
is there information? Is he trying to free some people of his own?
He could be, and then he could be trying to, again, he might be trying to incriminate himself, but incriminate Ben Affleck.
Yeah, so what about basically then if it starts off that he's only there just to kind of smooth things along, as an informant for the gangsters.
Yeah.
So he's there like, so there's going to be a drug bust on you, you have to change your location, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. But when Ben Affleck then escapes, his main goal is to chase down Ben Affleck. He makes himself get assigned to the role of catching the bad guy, in inverted commas. Yeah. So he makes himself that, like, okay, I have to go and catch Ben Affleck. So that's his motivation for that. And then Ben Affleck says, obviously, to get his face back and to make sure his family is okay.
Okay. It could be kind of funny, too, like, if they have, like, this big meeting or, like, the whereabouts of Michael Shannon, the villain character, who's now Ben Affleck. But Michael Shannon is there in the room, and with the Ben Affleck face, he starts bigging up, like, he's like, oh, this guy's a legend. Like, he has he starts talking over the legend of the Castor Troy character. Like, he's wanted, like, and he's so proud of, like, his accomplishments, like, as a villain, as, like, a nefarious figure, that, like, he, like, really builds it up. And, like, maybe some woman comes up to him later going, wow, you certainly respect him. It's like, you gotta respect them if you want to catch them or something. You
gotta respect your enemies.
Yeah. And, like, I love when some of my favorite stuff is when, like, you just wink at the audience. The characters in it have no idea. And it's like, it's for the characters. This is our in-joke. Yeah, it's for the character's own amusement, but it's with the audience, like, catching it all. I love that stuff. So cool. So he's basically, we can add another plot line in at another point, like maybe there was, like, something he wanted to retrieve. And this was another side thing was, he can basically get rid of, he can just start fresh. by just getting rid of Ben Affleck because Ben Affleck is now the villain, you know. So that's pretty cool. I think it's cool that we follow the same way as Face Off, where we follow both of them, right? Like we just jump back and forth.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So we have Ben Affleck then getting out with the new face on, which I love that, by the way. It's so fun that they've just switched the roles. Like, literally, like, they infiltrate the other guy, so now Affleck is running around trying to, like, this isn't my face, you know? In Face Off, it's like Travolta's pretending to be the other guy. Well, he's trying to be the other guy. For Affleck, he's like, I don't want this face. He's like, he goes up to people going, it's me. But, like, if he goes up to anybody and he's number one wanted list, like, he can't go to anybody.
No, and no one's going to believe him.
Yeah.
You know, but at least, like, they had that kind of thing
see
where...
the scar. And they were like, you're a known criminal. Of course you have scars.
Yeah. Into bumps and scrapes. Of course you are.
But Castor Troy did such a good job in the first film. He destroyed the lab, destroyed the evidence, killed everyone who knew about it. So, you know, Sean Archer couldn't come back. And then Castor Troy was a better husband and a better dad. To add insult to injury. Right. He seduced the wife. He was cool with the daughter. He gave her a smoke. He gave her a knife.
He added some weird sexual tension to his daughter, though.
But I think that's for the audience, though. I think that's just kind of like to weird the audience out for a minute. That was really clever. Because you're thinking, oh my god, how bad is this guy?
She was looking pretty hot.
And he resurrects it. Well, she was probably like 15. I was in nothing.
Not anymore, though.
Nah, she looked old.
Yeah, she probably was.
So what then, how about then, if we're going to be switching everything around, then why don't we play with the fact that this is Michael Shannon's family that Ben Affleck basically tries to convince that he's not.
So he goes to the bad guy's family who are bad people.
Maybe Ben Affleck doesn't have any family.
That's a good place for him to go to because it's the only people that wouldn't turn him in, right?
Yeah.
So, but does he tell them, because in the first Face-Off, Archer goes to the gang's house, and then there's the police raid on him. But he doesn't. So will after tell them the truth. He goes to prison.
He gets out of prison, and then he tries to infiltrate their gang.
That's it. But he pretends to be Castor Troy. So should Ben Affleck from the beginning going, "Hey, I'm Michael Shannon."
Yeah. I definitely think that before that, he should try to clear his name and tell somebody he knows. Like maybe I can see like a car park, and he's in like the FBI car park or something like that. And one of those other guys that's not one of the main characters, but like the guys in the office, and he's like, hey, and he's hiding in the corner, and he's like, it's me, and he's just like, and he's trying to tell this guy, and the guy's like, okay, and he's going with him for a little bit, but completely doesn't believe him. Mm-hmm. Calls the squad, like Affleck has to run. So we've seen him try to convince people who he is, and you can even do that for not too many times, but a couple of versions of that, just to show that like he's tried to convince people who he is. And maybe something different, like here's my thumbprint or whatever. And then like it turns out now either it's his thumbprint for real, or they've actually switched thumbprints, which adds something new.
Sweet, actually, that would be great if you actually kind of led the audience along a track that, like, okay, so this is going to work, and then at the last second it's like, no.
Yeah, it comes up
that's exactly what you need.
And it comes up as Castor Troy. And because we can get away with that because he was waking up when the face was switched. So he was asleep when they swapped fingerprints.
But maybe then he's like, you know, how did they do that? They couldn't have possibly done this, you know. It's like, maybe that's Michael Shannon in the police station actually working on those records himself. Maybe he has access to them.
Oh, that's true.
So he's the one switching them. So you think then it's a more technology or another massive operation.
I like that.
But it's not something as simple as just switching the files around.
And that could be a nice statement near the end where he was like, and you switch my fingerprints, and the guy just laughs. He's like, what are you talking about?
I want everything back. I want my face, my fingerprints. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is like a really shitty divorce. She took my face, my fingerprints, my dignity.
Keep the kids.
So we're saying everything's turned around, everything's upside down. So can we do that thing where, remember in Face Off where Sean Archer and his family would like wipe each other's faces with their hands?
Oh, the chin, was it? Or something?
Oh, yeah, they wipe down the face. Can we just wipe up? I think it just goes from the chin to the forehead.
Slap across.
Can we not just do it? Was the one step too far. Like, it was like, why do they keep rubbing each other?
It was the first thing they did in the film.
That was it.
They introduced it like I think the second shot or third shot.
Straight away.
On the thing he does it. So it's like their family thing.
Can we do something ridiculous like rustling hair or kind of like, you know, a little fake punch to the chin?
A little
jovial thing. It's like, go on, kid.
A little poke in the eyes.
It dislodges Affleck's chin a bit because it's not so on right.
Okay, so
none of it dislodged that chin.
So, but I like that. So then he's tried. that being Ben Affleck has tried to different routes to prove who he is. But I like the fact that he won't, in this way, for now, he doesn't want to pretend to be the other guy. Maybe there's a scene where he does it, but I enjoy the fact that, like, he's our hero. Like, he doesn't want to hide under his face, you know?
So the thing as well is Ben Affleck doesn't know that Michael Shannon is part of this. He doesn't know what really is going on. He's probably a bit confused. What if he goes to a diner and he sees, like,
on TV,
and he's doing a press conference, like, okay, so we're going to get this guy. I know he's a menace to our society. We're
one of the biggest criminals of our generation.
Yeah.
So his journey is because in the first Face Off, you knew, okay, the bomb was in the church, and that was the whole point of going undercover. Was like, we got to find where this bomb is. But now Ben Affleck doesn't even know what the point of the switch was. So he's trying to figure out during the movie, what is the switch. So maybe at some point, so he gets the idea that Michael Shannon, he went off to the dark side, and Ben Affleck continued with his career for a while.
Yeah.
But what if Affleck switched jobs a bit or something, and he went into the Secret Service, and he's got access to, there's going to be some convention on or something, and he's got access. Well, there's all about Michael
assassination.
Yeah. So we're bringing in another
president's ear or something.
I like
exactly.
That. I really like that because I guess for me, when we're doing these reboots, I love the fact that we get as far away from the other ones as possible. Because that's the point. Like, if I turned around, it was like, there's a boat chase and
it's a reboot, not a remake.
Yeah.
Or reboot, not rehashing. That's the whole thing.
So actually, just to talk about the endings, we don't. I mean, in a story terms, it's pretty shit to talk about the ending early, but I think it's important
when
for
you're
us
writing, you
to
always
come up with it. See, I don't like the boat scene. It's okay scene itself, but it has nothing to do with anything. And for me, I'm a personal fan of the setting of the last conflict has some kind of thematic or emotional link to the characters. So say like a boat chase. John Travolta wasn't like a big boat fan. They weren't like, we're taking that yacht out on Tuesday, Sean, So I think it's important that we consider what area could be that place. And just off the top of my head, I'm thinking it could be the lab where they switched faces. It could be like bringing him back to the point where he's like, I want my face back, like, and this place has been set up. It's ready to go. We didn't destroy it this time because why would Sean destroy the place? Why would Ben Affleck destroy the place? What a great place to like
drag him back to start cutting his face off yourself. You're so angry.
Yeah, you need to make this is an important.
Yeah, even in the last one, isn't it? Castor Troy,
he starts cutting himself.
The villain is cutting his own face. Yeah. So we have like a reflection of that where it's like the guy's dead and he's like he wants his own face back. So we'll get back to the ending when we get there. But it's nice to like it's an idea that we can lead towards,
One scenario I think probably be pretty cool if we can fit it in. I don't know how you manipulate it, but could you imagine a fight between the two guys in a house of mirrors? You imagine how confusing that would be for them. Like he looks at himself psychologically. He looks at himself in the mirror. He sees his villain. He sees his enemy, but really it's him. And then it's all Could you imagine that kind of?
It's like muscle memory. Your eyes are used to seeing.
Yeah,
straight away. He spent longer looking at Michael Shannon than looking like Michael Shannon. So if he pulls a gun at a mirror, that's instinct, isn't it?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty good. So I mean, going on that line, then that would mean that there was some kind of fair or carnival, right? Like to get to that mirror house, right?
Well, maybe the assassination then is a mayor or governor.
I think that's a really good scene, like a midpoint.
Yeah, that's it. It's not an end. No, it's not an end scene. I just think it'd be a nice little set piece.
No, just to go with that though, like we're finding another location, like a carnival, a fair, or something like that.
But it's set in America, so maybe like we're down by San Diego, we're on the pier, or we're in Santa Monica, around the pier.
So just trying to build on that area. Then you're talking about there's like a family or something. So it could be Michael Shannon bringing Sean Archer's family there, and Ben Affleck has located him. So you have this nice scene where like you have Ben Affleck watching his family with his worst enemy. When he tries to go near them, like they're like, "This is our worst enemy," And you can have this whole thing where then they run into that house of mirrors, But just trying to take back. Okay, I love that house of mirrors sounds pretty cool. But how do we get them in there? It's like, well, we can actually tie that in more and more if we just work a little backwards.
As well, we have to get them talking now as well. Like we're at the start of the second act, we have to get the two of the guys having a conversation. Because they can't just keep on missing each other. There has to be, and there would be an awesome conversation there.
But Michael Shannon,
that would be a good place to do it. What do you think? That'd be a good place for the first.
It would be good, but like what I liked in the first film is I loved the Castor Troy, the arrogance of him, going up to Sean Archer, kind of going, look, I'm living your life, I'm doing all this, and you're going to rot away and stuff. But I think think there needs to be pressure on Michael Shannon because like his plan is a bit scuppered now because Affleck has escaped. Affleck was meant to be the scapegoat for this.
Okay,
So he like Michael Shannon needs Ben Affleck and he needs him dead. Or he needs him dead soon so he can frame him for what he's going to do.
That's right. So
but they're both chasing each other in different ways. Like,
That's
and
true.
really, like Michael Shannon has the backup of the FBI or whoever it is. So, do you know what I mean? So there's a
No, you're so right. This dynamic works really well. So you have Ben Affleck chasing Michael Shannon, but he can't get near him because of the cops.
Yeah.
And you have Michael Shannon chasing Ben Affleck, but like he doesn't know where he is, and he needs the cops to find him. You know.
But he can't catch him with the cops.
Yeah.
Because he needs to get him on his own.
Well, that's why he would be like, I have to be there.
Exactly.
Like, oh, why are you so gung ho all of a sudden? You know, like, no,
Why
would
would maybe he doesn't even go tell the cops that he's going to meet up. Maybe Ben Affleck gets in touch with him and is like, we need to meet. I want to talk to you. They have a conversation. It's like, hey, I want to meet you. I'm going to talk to you face to face.
Just on that notion though that like he wants to catch him, like he wants to be there at all times, and basically catch Ben Affleck so he can kill him. You have this nice moment too where he wants to keep going. Like, you don't have to go on every single wild goose chase to find this guy. And then one of his guys turns around and goes, I know how much you want to catch Castor Troy. I know what he did to you. Like, we'll say he killed his son or whatever, his family. Like, I like that. There's real clear-cut motivation. So he's telling him, like, I know how much you hate this guy. I know what he did. I know he fractured your life. He's telling the fucking murderer this, and the murderer's sitting there just with his like this eye in him up going like, you have this like, it has to be really good acting, but it's like, it has to be this kind of pride, but also play grief in it by being told, like, by being grieved to, you're the murderer, and someone's like, I know what it's like. And it's like, I think that would be such a good moment.
Who better to play that than Michael Shannon? Like, the guy acts through his eyes.
Well, that would be Ben Affleck in that scene. It would be Ben Affleck's face.
It would be Ben Affleck's face.
Oh my god.
We're getting confused.
No, we're not. I mean, completely control.
No, we're right. Like,
no, but it's true.
No, but I was seeing that as well. Like, cause I was thinking the face.
Sorry, I thought it was the cop. The guy was talking to the cop. Basically, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
No, look, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's very confusing when you're face swapping.
Yeah. We're face swapping and actor swapping and using original names.
I know, yeah.
And Paul was going on a good thread there, though, about like the assassination and the framing. Like, I think that's what it is. He's going to assassinate somebody, and he's going to frame his own face to do it. So he's found a way that his legend will go down as the guy who killed an important figure and still live. You know?
It's a suicide bomb.
Yeah. So it's something like that.
It's something like that. Like, yeah. So it's like there. Because with the bomb, if they blow Ben Affleck at the bomb, you can't test for blood, you can't test for dental. So he's on TV. We're in the age of media. There he is. He's on TV and he blows himself up and kills everyone. You can't refute that evidence ever. Like.
Yeah.
So
that's so good. So actually, we came up with that plot like just in that conversation. So yeah, that's it. His assassination strategy is to switch faces, so he gets the credit for the killing while also being alive. So he's like forever. He's going to be the guy who, with his face, he's the guy who did it. But he also gets to sit there and watch his own funeral.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy who goes to his own funeral to see who showed up and see what people say. You know.
So he's getting his ego massaged by everybody congratulating him on catching the bad guy, but he's also getting the benefits of the fact that he done it, and he's getting this basically
He's getting
his
Ben
ego
Affleck.
trip everywhere. Yeah.
So then that's the mystery then that you were talking about, how Ben Affleck's trying to figure out what is going on.
What he's trying to do. Yeah.
So we're following that with the people. The audience are with Ben Affleck, I'd say.
Yes.
We're discovering it as we go.
We have
you
to.
can cut back to the Michael Shannon character as the cop. Like Michael Shannon with the Ben Affleck face on is doing things, and we can see what he's up to, but we can't figure out why he's doing it. You know, he might be
it should be
missing
revealed at the beginning of the third act. Up until that
point.
Exactly.
When we go back to him, he'll be in a room, and someone's like, "What are you doing?" And he clicks it off. The audience don't know what he's up to because we want to find out with Ben Affleck what he was up to.
Well, naturally, when we get to the end of the kind of second act, like I think Ben Affleck needs to think it's one thing, but it's a swerve, it's something else, or like is there kind of like
complete misdirect in it?
Yeah, like some kind of misdirect, because we're kind of going nearly into like Bourne Identity stuff here, that kind of like conspiracy stuff or something like remember that movie Salt? Angelina Jolie. Did you see it? That's kind of. Did you ever see that film?
What's that?
Salt.
Yes, I have actually.
Yes, that's all that kind of swerve. She's on the run, but she's a good guy, painted as the bad guy. No one listens to her. It's that kind of world.
Similar, but I don't think we need to go too far that way, because one thing we have is we have an assassination attempt that is useless without the body that got away.
Yeah.
So we have Michael Shannon, who I need him back. Like, without him, there's no one to pin it on. Like, we cannot kill. Like, we can't do the suicide bombing without my face on his body.
Yes.
He escaped, so we need him to blame. Otherwise, we can't do it. Like, it just doesn't work. So he's like, he wants to capture him. And so we hit a point where, moving into the third act, do we actually, we're setting up this big event. Let's say, like, I don't know, just say, is it a president? We can change it anyway to another.
Let's say congressman, because it's easier. Like,
because it's always a president, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always
I don't
like the White House out. I'm sick of looking at the White House.
But there's some.
No, I just don't want to get wrapped up in who that is.
But maybe it's linked to, like, why is he killing the guy? That's part of it. So Michael Shannon wants to kill the guy. Maybe ultimately he's getting paid off because there's some kind of vote on a bill or a law, or I don't know.
Legalizing prostitution.
Maybe one of the guys he's actually working for is attached to the opposite runner, basically the other party.
Oh yeah.
You don't know
this
that.
Could be the nominee for the next election, presidential.
Yeah.
election.
So let's say, just for cliche
like
fact.
that.
Yeah, that's cool.
For cliche
You're not
fact,
killing the president, you're killing the would-be.
the Michael Shannon is working. Michael Shannon's work. He's had to be sent into the police station by his drug dealer boss. Let's say, right? For instance, but the drug dealer boss has stakes in with the congressman, the opposing. Like, yeah, exactly. There's always something in there, isn't there? So
He just run for office once and we'll see how he goes.
So yeah, that's our thread base. That's
okay. I'm cool with that.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
Okay, so then leading up to that event, then, right? We have this event that they're looking to. Like, this is the event that the suicide bombing, let's say, if that's the way we're going to go, it's going to happen. It would be shitty if we didn't actually do that scene, you know?
Oh yeah.
So that means that we need to get Ben Affleck into that area. Maybe if he is captured and bundled up and escapes, you know, like I think that's where the trajectory is going. Because we can't say, like, oh, it's going to be November 4th. November 4th is this thing. November 4th.
It's not 24.
But then we don't even do that. Like, this moment here is just past. So I feel like if we're building up that time, we have to see it. So it has to get to the point where Michael Shannon is winning. It should actually have Ben Affleck in his clutches. He's caught him.
Yeah.
He's put him. Everything is in his position.
He's in the vest. He's ready to.
Right.
Blow him up. Yeah.
Because why would we introduce all this stuff if we didn't go that way? And so then that's when Ben Affleck escapes. Now, should we go back and figure out how Ben Affleck got to that part?
Or Ben Affleck.
Or how did he catch Ben Affleck? That would be fun.
But Ben Affleck doesn't even know when it's going to happen. He might figure out, look, it's going to be an assassination thing, but he doesn't figure out the mechanics of that, because Michael Shannon has access to the victim all day, but it has to be public. So that's the whole thing. So, like, maybe he figures out, look, it's an assassination thing, but it's not just an assassination. It has to be a public assassination. So that's kind of like the last bit he figures out. As he figures that out, he gets grabbed.
Okay.
It's that kind of thing. It's like, he's going to blow him up. Oh, I've been caught. Now I've got a bomb on.
Yeah.
So
and I'd say how he does that. Like, maybe.
So how does he figure that out?
I'd say he has to break into the FBI or this wherever that base is located. Because one, that'd be a great way he gets the information, very clean. He went to the source. Two,
types on a computer, exposition just comes up.
Yeah. Basil exposition.
Explaining everything.
Basil Exposition from Austin Powers just shows up on Skype, and he's like, "Oh, Austin, how are you?"
Yeah.
So two, we actually we have him. Well, one, he's at the area. He gets that. Two, we have a really cool scene where he actually has to, like, kind of break into that structure, like, and he can, because that's where he works. And three, we now have him in the same location as Michael Shannon, so he can get grabbed.
Yeah.
Like, what better place to get grabbed than breaking into the place?
And you've got all this great editing, back and forth tension. Will he get caught at the computer? Will he not?
And when he gets caught, people are like, "This guy's amazing." And Michael Shannon's are like, "He is," and he's still getting the credit.
Yeah.
He's like, "This guy broke into, like, one of the most heavily security restricted areas," and he's like, "Good job, because I'm getting the credit anyway."
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about that credit. It's all about that moment. Yeah, for him.
That's so cool. So what do you guys think? That seems like a good kind of lead into getting him caught.
That's it. Yeah.
So now he's caught, and then I think at that point he's caught by the cops, though, right? That wasn't really the plan. It'd be pretty cool, actually, if he was caught. Like,
That's an interesting point, actually, because he was caught by the cops.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon needs to rig him to blow him up. Michael Shannon needs to break him out.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right? Yeah, I see where you're going. Yeah.
So he needs to, I'd say Michael Shannon catches him alone.
Yes.
And right before I'd say he'd probably just, he'd smuggle him out or knock him out or whatever. Right before that, one of their partners, like one of Ben Affleck's partners who he knows, maybe the guy that he went to in the parking lot before shows up and he was like, "You caught him." He's like, "It's me." He's not doing this stuff. Now Michael Shannon can't kill this guy. Ben Affleck is yelling, pleading, going like, "It's me. He's like, "I know it's you.
I know, you support the Red Sox. You do this, do that. Let me rustle your hair a little bit. This is our thing."
You got a Japanese tattoo on your back, but it doesn't mean what you thought it meant.
It means Kung Pao Chicken, not eternity of love.
Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. So then we have, now he's forced to capture him, but as a cop. And you even have a good moment where, like, he has to, like bring him in. He has no fucking clue how do you put a suspect in, He's like, okay, bring him in. He's like, the other way, okay, this way. You have to fill this one out.
But they were partners years ago, weren't they? So they would...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So they would have that knowledge.
No, you're correct.
But, I mean, there might be procedural changes and all that kind of thing, or is it maybe he has shifted to a different agency.
If it was a different agency, then it would.
Maybe it's a fingerprints thing, is it? With the fingerprints, he has to go through fingerprints.
That's where your fingerprint
awesome.
thing. That's it.
Perfect. And he's like, and he puts his own fingerprint on the thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
That's all come together there now.
Like Ben Affleck's like, yeah, fingerprints.
Yeah.
And Castor Troy's like, or Michael Shannon's like, oh shit. So when let's say Doug, the guy that he met in the car park that caught him in the act, Doug is with them and he's like, "Am I going over there?" And he just puts his own thumbprints on the thing. I know he has to like hide his hands because they're covered in ink.
Yeah, maybe when Affleck was like, fingerprints, he just actually gives him a thump, hits him, knocks him out a little bit, just takes his hand while Doug's not looking, just kind of puts him onto it.
Yeah. That's
great, yeah. So then we're at a point where we have to, now Michael Shannon has to spring Ben Affleck, make it look like Ben Affleck escaped, but he has him, he subdues him as well, Which, I mean, that would have its own moment too, because you're talking about security cameras and stuff like that. But it wouldn't be as difficult, really. I mean, it would be really difficult, but maybe there's something. Like, again, we spent ages trying to figure out how he does that.
Yeah,
but it could be simple as, I mean, Michael Shannon, to go right back to the beginning, he obviously is working for the baddies, the gang, whoever it is. So that gang is still there. Like, Ben Affleck wakes up, it's just him and the doctor, he kills the doctor or whatever goes on, but that gang is still there. So he can just ring that gang and say, "Hey, the police transport's coming through the neighbourhood at 2:00. Break out Ben Affleck."
Yeah.
So that all just makes Ben Affleck again still look like the bad guy. So Michael Shannon still has like the baddie's support. Whereas in the first face-off, the original face-off, Castor Troy was trying to not deal with his old cronies. He just wanted to exclusively deal with the FBI. But Michael Shannon, this is dealing with both sides.
Yeah.
He's running both sides against each other. Complete king of control, like.
So like he meets up with his brother and he ties his shoe and it shows him, oh, you're together.
So what we do the bunnies through the ears and things like that. No, that's not how we done it. We done the rabbit in the
so
hole.
Weird, right? In that first face off where like he's like, "Oh brother," and he ties his brother's shoes and then he goes like, "Suck my tongue" from the woman.
It's like they just showed like he really was just a joker in that film. Like he was an incredible joker.
Yeah, he's really good.
When you think about it, like,
I thought he was like even as dancing around as the priest,
that seems insane.
So that's cool. So we have the breakout.
So are we going to do a sciencey breakout and push on? Basically, that Shannon's have to get his people to do it.
Let's do 1 minute of breakout and see. Otherwise, we move on.
So you're going to leave a load of.
I like what you said about you're now involving the bad guys in the breakout as much as you have the.
Well, he can play both sides against each other because he's in that position.
So even if we don't figure it out, we know that he's going to. Maybe is this the first time they know that they've switched, or they wouldn't because they were there to help him switch, right?
Yeah, they know.
So they know the whole time.
The bad guys are all in on it.
Exactly,
the bad guys know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And they know, and maybe if you want to backtrack even further, like Shannon has had the baddies out looking for him the whole time. That's why Affleck's on the run. He's keeping low, So
he's basically getting chased from both sides.
He's getting chased from both sides. Yeah. And when he tried to go to the cops, Doug. Tried to go to Doug.
Good old Doug.
Bloody Doug.
What a tick.
Yeah, since like St. Louis fan, what was he? A Red Sox fan?
Red Sox, yeah.
God damn it,
Poor tattoo.
Yeah. So like
You're allergic to kittens.
Is that how Ben Affleck does it? He just throws a kitten in his face. I knew you'd sneeze. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. Look.
Only I can know that.
I banged your ex-wife. So he's going to break him out. I think he can't. There's no cops involved in that, so it's his cunning as well as help from the goons as well.
And either way, he won't be on scene for that. He'll let them do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's innocent. He's away from it.
Yeah.
So he's keeping his.
And then any kind of video footage they have is Ben Affleck with the Castor Troy face on, running away with the goons. So even though he's being escorted out with handcuffs, I'd say we can keep him in handcuffs and stuff.
Oh yeah, when you're shackled, you.
Yeah. But either running away shackled looks the same if you don't want to go or if you want to go.
Exactly,
you're shuffling along, you're getting picked up. So look at him go, and you just see him getting carried out, and it was it looks like it's scary.
Actually, it works better for Michael Shannon's plan nearly for this to happen.
Yeah.
Because it just keeps building the thing against Affleck the whole time.
Okay, cool. So then now Michael Shannon's plan is come together. Now he's got the plan in place. He's gonna we're saying suicide bombers and strap bombs to.
What if
Ben Affleck, right?
What if his end goal was basically a sniper thing? He had to shoot the congressman.
Okay.
One thing, and I think we've talked about this before, way in the past, Chris. That wouldn't it be amazing that if at the end of Face Off, the whole thing was that he couldn't get his face back. There was no way he'd get his face back. And he had to live with the face of the criminal. But he'd done a true choice. What if Ben Affleck's being forced then to kill the congressman, but instead he has an option. He has a moment where he can think of killing Michael Shannon, but the only way to do it is a headshot, a face shot.
That's cool.
Now there's no way that he's going to be able to reconstruct his face after getting blown off.
Right.
So therefore, he has to make that decision of, do I go through with the plan which I'm forced to, or do I go and destroy basically my whole goal here and just live with this man's face? Do I have to do that?
You could tie the two together.
Those lines.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
However, you are giving a gun to Ben Affleck and you're putting Michael Shannon next to him. I don't think that they would have that as the plot.
I think.
Or I don't think he's strategizing going, he's not going to shoot me, but I'll stand next to the politician.
No, but you can take that idea though. That's a great dilemma.
Yeah,
I think that's a nice character moment where he has to choose.
But if you go with the suicide bomber thing, and we're going to have to figure out how he gets out of that. Because he's going to get to a point where he's in the suicide bomber vest, he's shackled, he's ready to go. They're going to drop him off so he's on TV. He has to get out of that. But you could still build, because at the end of the Face Off, they kept building and building. They started off in the church. Do you remember the church scene?
Right,
then on the boat. Yeah, amazing. And then they went on further. So the next bit is he has to shoot him in the face.
I like that, yeah. So I think he does escape. We do that. But maybe he does escape. We'll come back to how he does that. And then what he does is he gets to an elevated position where there are snipers there to protect the president or the politician politician. And then he gets the gun and he's actually pointing the gun. That's when you have that moment where he's choosing between the two. Someone sees Castor Troy on a roof with a sniper rifle pointing in the direction of the politician, And then I think that's cool, yeah. And then after that, I think we do want to lead them, again, the setting of the final act. I think he should go back to that later, right?
But we can't shoot him in the face and then go back to the final.
I don't think he shoots him in the face. I think that moment's gone. He can't shoot him in the face. I like that as a choice that he can't take. Because it's so anticlimactic if you have your hero shoot a guy from very far away.
Oh no! You could just keep the idea. You could reverse it. Keep bring that choice in, but bring it up close and personal. So maybe just throwing this out there, you can shoot it down, guys. He escapes from the vest, foot chase, blah blah. They run around. Affleck's family are in the crowd. I've got the wife or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And then we're in a situation. Oh, yeah, we do want to go back to the lab.
So what if then? Okay, we're on the politician's day. He's on a stage. He's going to give a speech. Okay, we're at the setup now. I assume, yeah. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing is that we need motivation for Affleck to follow through.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what's his options? He either does it and dies, or he doesn't do it and dies. He has a bomb strapped to himself. Okay, that's not really that great. What if Ben Affleck's family, like you said, is in the crowd? Michael Shannon is that they're organising for protection, snipers to protect the congressman or the politician in case the bad guy turns up. The Ben Affleck guy turns up. Okay? So they have popping out the windows or something like in a building near them, just in case. It's just a priority.
Yeah.
But really, what Michael Shannon's like telling Ben Affleck is, one of those guys is working for me, and if you do not follow through, he's going to shoot your family. So that's his motivation.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I have one of him. You don't know which one it is. I'm not going to tell you. It's
that's complex, Steve.
That's good. Yeah, that's really
so
good.
that's why Affleck
they're
has
going to feel like you came up with this yesterday, like 2 days later, and we edited that in. So
yeah, those trains. Just ignore those trains in the background and all that. We didn't do this the next day.
No, it's really
cool,
slick because that was my problem. Was like he can just shoot Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
And if it was shoot this guy or shoot the bad guy, his face wouldn't be that big a deal. He'd be like, "I'll fucking shoot the bad guy." But this gives him a reason why he can't.
Yeah, see, he needs that.
Yeah.
That's
a really good moment too.
So therefore, then we need to get Affleck out of his little bomb jacket or whatever it is, with his family safe, and get them back to the.
Well, at that point, we don't put him in a bomb jacket, right? We put him on that roof. That's the kill. You wouldn't put him in a bomb jacket in case it doesn't work. Get onto the roof and sniper them. Like that seems like it's one or the other.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what do you think?
I've gotten confused now. I'll admit.
Well, it's either we put him in a bomb jacket and he blows up the stage.
That's it.
And leaves no evidence.
Is the motivation for him? Maybe I've lost this out. But we're saying the motivation for we've got Ben Affleck in a bomb jacket.
Yeah.
But we need ultimately for the TV cameras for him to just basically turn up on the stage and open his jacket and blow up, right?
Yeah.
So we're saying that we need Ben Affleck up close and personal with Michael Shannon at this point.
Well, no, he's up beside the presidential candidate. The blast radius is 20 meters. Mm-hmm. It's not a nuclear bomb. You know what I mean? So Affleck knows my family are in the crowd. A sniper will shoot them unless I blow myself up and the congressman.
Right.
And Michael Shannon will just walk away because he knows it's going to come. He'll excuse himself. Here, I got to go puke or something like.
So he'll be like, I think I've seen something over here.
Oh yeah, I'm going to here check this.
Yeah, he has a sniper guy up in the window saying, I think we have something to check out about. Oh, sorry, I'll be back in a second.
So we've got Affleck's motivation to go up. How do we get Affleck out of there?
Oh, we took
Because
you've
pretty much come up with this like watertight way of making someone do this.
This is it. This is what's going to make.
It's kind of too good a point.
This is what makes Face On better than Face Off. Okay, we're at this point. We're not fighting on a boat or in a church here.
Well, no,
I need to get this. This is great. This is good now.
Let me be clear. I love Face Off,
but we have to be clear. Like he's not going to get on a roof and sniper at this point.
No, what we said.
Do both.
No, this is what we said. He said that he's either far away or he's close. We decided he's going to be up close and personal. So therefore, he's not a sniper. He's in the crowd or he's in the round.
And he will go up to a certain point because there's a sniper pointed at his family.
Yeah.
I think we have introduced this Doug character. He's tried twice to convince he's real.
I was just going to say this.
That's where this guy can come in.
I think Doug needs his main goal now is that we need Doug to get rid of the bad sniper. We need him to fish out the bad guy.
Yeah.
And get in touch with Ben Affleck and say your family's safe. Because when his family is safe, Ben Affleck can do anything. It was that time when you rustled my hair. I just knew it was you.
Should it be that like we do a spoiler, just in case we're listening, spoilers for The Dark Knight Rises, spoilers.
Okay.
What if so he gets word, okay, Doug, he sees his family, he sees Doug running away with the family. He's like, oh, it's safe. But I still don't want to kill people and a congressman. So he jumps off the stage. Maybe they're at the pier. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's there.
The pier sounds nice. I like that.
And he jumps off and explodes in the water, but he's not really dead. Do you know what I mean? He jumps out to water to blow up, that kind of thing, but he's not really dead. So Michael Shannon's going around going, okay, it's a bit dodgy. Maybe Doug didn't get the full story, I don't know, or he was able to spin it, and he still has come back and get Michael Shannon after that. I don't know.
We have two things here. We have the sniper that can kill, but we're also saying, are we saying that Ben Affleck can blow himself up whenever he's ready, or does Michael Shannon have that trigger?
No, Michael Shannon has a trigger, or it's on a timer.
So I'd say a timer is good. Well, actually, let's give Michael Shannon a trigger because we're trying to now give ourselves an out here.
True.
So we give Michael Shannon a trigger, and we have Doug as the hero. The moment where he does it, when So Doug saves the family. Like he knocks out the thing, and Affleck's like, no, and sees Shannon clicking the thing, doesn't work. Doug disabled that shit ages ago.
Cool.
So it was like Doug's the fucking hero.
we need more for Doug.
Yeah.
We need to build Doug up though.
Yeah, so
Doug's a bit of a let's go back and build him up.
So what
not
about
now? But in another
Actually,
draft, we do that.
Here's a little quick one. Okay, maybe at the point when the hand was the fingerprinting to get Michael Shannon. Doug notices something.
Yeah.
Then all the things that Affleck was screaming at him is kind of playing on his head. Maybe then when Affleck gets broke out of the police station, maybe one of the thugs that's bringing him out has an identifying mark on his hand or on his neck or something. When the snipers are in place, Doug notices this, and it's like, okay, it's like,
makes sense, bro.
That's a really good idea.
I know, but now he doesn't know that the sniper is attacking Ben Affleck's family. But he just takes him out anyway. He does it anyway because he knows something.
He doesn't know. Yeah, he just takes out that sniper.
He knows something's wrong. He knows something's not right. He knows that this guy is at the break-in, a criminal out of my police station. But he's also pointing a sniper rifle at the congressman.
Right.
This is not right. He doesn't realize that. It's
so Doug doesn't need to figure out everything.
No,
but he can just figure out.
He knows that now at this point there's something not right with Ben Affleck. It's something's...
Because my way with that thing of like, that moment where like Shannon, they make eye contact, tries to click it, it doesn't work. You have a chase scene then. You can have like...
On a boat.
we're
at the pier.
We do paddle boats. No, we have a thing where like you have Affleck. I'd say I think you would like him to make the spectacle, like he shows up.
But we're on a pier. Why not?
And so he goes. The chase happens. Shannon running away because no one's looking for him. Affleck like avoiding everybody to get to this one guy, and I think he should succeed. He should get away. Maybe somebody. Let's say we can either Doug again, although he's done too much already, but maybe somebody who he bonded with when he was trying to deal with being the other person earlier on. Like we have a point where he's trying to convince people who he is. So maybe it's one of Michael Shannon's groupies that kind of believed him and was not as bad as he thought. Somebody who can kind of jump in and like save him, put him on like a motorbike or whatever, and get him out of that area. But I think this should continue. This chase should lead all the way to that laboratory.
Back to there,
I think that's where it happens. And the cool thing is, I like your idea that the face stays. I agree. I don't want them switching back faces. I think it's pretty shocking and horrible if like he never gets his face back. So he's stuck with this one face afterward. But he should kill the other guy. Well, what do we have to kill the other guy that will ruin the face? We have a suit of bombs. Somehow, I think at this final act, maybe that bomb suit goes off on Michael Shannon or around him. You know, we got him strapped up, ready to blow up, and he's chasing a guy he wants the face back. So I think that's kind of the way we're going.
That's cool.
So we have that chase. He's going down. And then we'll have to figure out why they went to that laboratory. Should we figure that out? Like why? Did Michael Shannon go there, or was he dragged there, or how did they get there?
Ben Affleck has to get something on Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon's had things on Ben Affleck the whole way through. He's had the family. He's had everything to kind of get Affleck's motivations in the way that he wants them. Ben Affleck, on his downtime between running from the cops and from the gangsters, he needs to have done something to basically compromise Shannon. Mm-hmm. So now he has Shannon by the balls. Like he has him now. He can manipulate him to do something.
Exactly. Why is Shannon on the run, really? Because it's just Ben Affleck. Shannon.
Yeah, he's still the bad guy to everybody.
Okay, right.
So he's still the bad guy to everyone. Now
so he clears up. He gets out of the scene. You know what he does? He goes back to that laboratory to destroy it because now he's got a couple of people.
There we go.
Defending. Like he's got enough evidence against this. Like this crazy notion of switching faces. Thing is, now there's one cop that believes it. All he has to do is check out where this laboratory is, and they'll see the space switching instrument.
There is still
breadcrumbs.
There's still a trail.
Yeah.
Because this isn't as sophisticated as the first film. It's more hack and slash. Maybe this has only been 4 days, this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because the longer you leave it, the more opportunity you don't believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Shannon, like he's infiltrated
more
the family.
flaws that come into it.
More flaws come in.
So then you have that thing where it's like, where did he go? And he's like, I bet I know where he went. And it's like, where would he go? Why? He's going to cover up his tracks. Like he's going to destroy the lab because we have enough evidence to suggest face swapping. So now he's going to destroy any. Because this is ridiculous, you know. So yeah, so I think that at least got Michael Shannon to go there, so you have that moment in that place. And then you have like the standoff thing, you know? Maybe he captures one of the family members or so. I don't know if they did that in the last one.
Yeah, I think we stay away from that maybe because we're out there clearing the family now. The family are safe with the sniper thing. Maybe that's
so
their
maybe it's just a badass fight scene. What do you think about that? Actually,
I like that. Yeah. But like, are the baddie gang, going to be at the? Like, is this a fallback position? Okay, so they're defending Michael Shannon, like, trying to tear their lab apart, and like Affleck has to get through, or
is this shootout if he does take them out? Like,
because we haven't had many action scenes yet. I know that's kind of like in the dress up in the second draft, but we haven't had like those big action.
Yeah, we need a
yet.
set piece. Yeah, we need a set piece.
This needs to be the final, the grand slam at the end.
The adios.
Well, we can make that mirror scene, that house of mirrors. That could be an action scene because after they talk, I think it's a good moment to talk. Get Affleck out of there with cops and gangsters both gunning for him, you know?
Yeah.
And let him take out a couple.
Actually, an awesome action scene
let
as well.
Let him shoot like a guy he knows in the leg, you know? Like
a fake kill. It's like it looks like he's either killing him, but he doesn't really.
Poor Doug, but like
poor Doug.
Is Doug a family friend though? Like, I mean, what? Like, Doug is his current partner.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so
it feels familiar, like when you have that kind of character.
Yeah, so he should be the one who can see through. He should like.
Yeah, they share donuts. They're good friends. Donuts and coffee.
Holding hands on cold nights.
All right, so that ending I think it wouldn't just be a one-on-one. It turns into that, but it would be pretty badass to have him like a good shootout, like a time crisis shootout. You know? Like,
yeah.
Like people hiding behind stuff, and you have
or the death sentence shootout. Remember that shootout?
What's that?
Death sentence. Kevin Bacon.
No,
like his kid is killed in a gas station one night.
Oh, he does like a vigilante, isn't it?
Oh man, yeah. But like he starts he goes out and he beats up one of the guys or he kills. I can't remember exactly. But then the gang go, "Hey, you did that to our boy, and we don't care that he killed your son. We're going to destroy your whole family." So now he has to put his family in hiding, and he has to kill the gang before they kill his family. And the last shootout is gruesome.
Cool.
It's amazing.
Is that on YouTube?
There's no good quality version of that shootout on YouTube.
Let's try to find it and share it on Twitter. Anyway.
That's amazing. Like, it's just sore looking, you know.
So yeah, I think it's a good shootout where he's taken down quite a few people, you know. And I think like when he's shooting stuff, he should be cautious because he doesn't think. Like anytime like they're shooting at him, he's like, "Stop shooting the laboratory! I need this to get my face back," you know. So he's like trying to like I don't know. It's something cool about like even in their action thing, like. You can have, which is turning a bit Joker-esque, but you can have Michael Shannon just smashing shit like and knocking stuff over, but he cannot get to him. He can hear him in the background. He's like, "Stop knocking, stop it!" Like
yeah.
So then he kills everybody else. You have this really cool scene with them, you know. And I don't know, how deep do you want to get with this action scene? Or
it's no point. You know, it's
okay. Sure.
But one distinguishing feature of a John Woo movie is two things: doves and double handguns. So. You know, I mean, I guess I was young when I saw Face Off, so I went back and I watched all the old, like, Hardboiled and The Killer, and I went and watched all those.
Did you Target as well?
He did. That was his first American movie.
A couple of hard
and
ones.
He did Broken Arrow as well before this.
Those doves are always the start of the final set piece, aren't they? Like I remember Mission Impossible 2 as well. It was the final set piece. It was the doves. The final set piece in Face Off. It's the doves.
The music's like dum 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 dum. It's so cool.
In what in
Face Off.
The music in Face Off is amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. So, so they have that final thing, and I think it does turn into a thing where it's not just a shootout. Like, it's not just a shooting, you know? I do want to incorporate this if she's wearing a suicide vest. Like,
a disabled bomb, basically. He's walking around with a disabled bomb on him.
Yeah.
It can't be remotely triggered, but we can find a way to trigger it.
What's going to cause him to kill Michael Shannon?
I like it. Go back. I did like that moment where, like, maybe he captures him and he was like, "I want my face back." And then Michael Shannon shoots the guy who did it. Like, the guys in the room are...
Okay, yeah, so Bennett doesn't kill the doctor at the beginning.
Yeah, no.
It knocks him out.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
And the guy's still there, cowered in the corner, and he's like, "I want my face back." And
boom.
He just, like, the bad guy shoots him, wants him dead, you know?
Yeah.
And because I love your moment where he's, like, sort of carved the face off the other guy. He's carving Michael Shannon's face. And I think maybe then, is it somebody, like, one of the two of them triggers the vest or something?
Or is it just a realization, like he just sees what he's doing, and there's no way he can put this face back on? So he just, like,
That's true.
What if there's like
ties him up with the bomb and walks out and blows up the room? I don't know.
What if there's like
something like that? That's cool. I like that moment where he's turned into a monster because it's like I'm cutting the face off a man, like you know.
What were we saying?
What if basically the doctor Shannon kills the doctor.
Yeah.
He's done it. Now that's it. There's no other way that they can have this procedure. But what if like the jacket? You said it was a close proximity explosion earlier on, so it's not a massive explosion.
Yeah, it's 20.
What
20
if
foot, 20
what
meters.
if the Affleck managed to get the jacket off, or he gets the doctor to take the jacket off, or something like that? You know, when they're in the room together, and the doctor's holding the jacket, and Shannon shoots the jacket and basically blows them up. So he blows up the doctor. Now there's a load of shrapnel flying around. The room is exploded.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So there's like shattered glass everywhere. The two.
So we've given the vest something to do.
Yeah. So basically, Affleck and Shannon have both been like thrown across the room.
Yeah.
When Shannon lands, he lands in a load of glass and he basically cuts his face. So he's
Destroyed.
loads of shreds in his face. His blood everywhere, and then it literally is that case of Affleck just thinks himself, right, there's no doctor now to have this operation. He's already fucked up looking, you know. Why? He basically.
But do you want to make it that easy for him? Should it not be like? Is the beauty of that choice not? I can have my whole life, but I'm choosing something greater. Is that not the beauty of that choice?
I like that.
You know what I mean? Because if you destroy the face, it's not a horrible decision.
Yeah.
Because you want the audience to be gut wrenched.
Yeah.
You know, and put themselves in that position. Would I do the more noble thing in life?
And is this maybe something that maybe I'm wrong, but a line of dialogue was like, "What are you going to do? Like, put this face in your mantelpiece or something? Like, what are you going to do with this face now? You know?" And
What if Affleck actually?
You can't just shoot him. Then I think there should be a last scuffle, and then it's just a shot to the face.
What if?
Just boom! Like he did it. Like it was just he decided that he could not cut that face off, and then. Like that moment where he lets it go, and then there's that last minute like moment that like they have in a lot of these action films where it wasn't like you can't just shoot him, so it has to be a moment of instinctive self-defense. But it went for the face, you know, and it was like shit. But also we also have that face has already been like half cut anyway.
Yeah, you can cut it a bit alright.
Yeah.
I'd love a scene as well, and the final part where Shannon is basically just going to Affleck, you know, your chance to get your face back is gone. He's dead. Nobody else can perform this procedure. Like you're
Soldier Serum.
You're stuck with my face now. That's it. You know, you can't do anything about it. And then Affleck, for the first time, Affleck's able to turn it right back around to Shannon and say, you know, what about you? You know, you're stuck with my face. It's I'm the one getting all the credit for your work. You know, like he's an egotistical guy.
Yeah, he's just using that.
So
now,
it's like you know. So basically, I'm the one. Like I seen it in your eyes. Like when people were commenting you in that when they were complimenting me on my amazing evilness, you know, in the interrogation in the police station. I could see it. Like seeing that got to you. That was you who done that, but you're not getting the credit for it. What have I done? I've done nothing. Like I've done nothing in my life. You're not going to get any credit for me. You know,
That's true.
Like so, he plays on that, and maybe that gets Shannon's blood boiling. You know, and that's when that like you know that's
the last moment.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
And then the final bullet.
Yeah.
Shannon goes down dead.
I love that knife. You know that knife thing. You know when it's two guys and it's like the knife to the throat, and they're just kind of. It's that like it's getting closer. It's getting closer away. You know
when it goes in real slow.
Yeah, that jeopardy. You know, but can you imagine like Affleck? He's in that position now. Shannon's on top of him. Shannon's going to kill him.
Okay.
But it's like the gun is to Shannon's face or whatever. The only way that he can actually kill Shannon and save himself is to blow Shannon's face off.
And the knife is going into him. Maybe.
So that's a different term of face off.
Yeah. So yeah, say it's a
Blow his
knife,
face
and he has that thing. It's like you know, I can either
Yeah.
the knife is coming to him. It's like I can either stab him in the face or I die. What do I do? You know,
Or like if Affleck's on his back and Shannon's on him, and Shannon has the knife going into Affleck.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Oh, is that what he said? And then Affleck pulls out the gun, and like Affleck's like, either I die or it blows out.
The difference is that we give the knife. If we're talking guns here. Well, we give somebody the knife and do that. Yeah.
Give Shannon the knife, but give Affleck the gun.
Affleck, Shannon is killing Affleck right now with the knife.
And Affleck's going to die unless he shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
And he's like, he can't get the arm away, so he just shoots him.
It's that Man of Steel moment where he has to break his neck.
Yeah.
He's no other choice.
Spoilers.
Don't. If you haven't seen Man of Steel, don't worry about it.
It is great. I love Man of
We're
Steel.
going to say whose neck is broken.
There is a little symmetry here, I suppose.
Yeah, fuck it, that's too good. Yeah. So now we have Sean Archer, Ben Affleck just killed Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
The face is gone. Like face gone. Face gone, boy. Face is gone. So now we could like. I don't think we need any more like scenes after that. There's this moment if you're staying with Affleck and the knowledge that it's his face, like maybe want to see the family again. I don't know, but I'm satisfied that that's the ending. Like you end with him not in the knowledge that he's stuck with this face.
There's so much to do after that you nearly need to end the movie there.
Yeah,
because like there is too much to resolve. Like he hasn't had that contact. Like in Face Off, you know, the wife was involved in that shootout in church, and she knew, and all. You know, it all started getting people knew. We've avoided all that, and that's fine. It's a different story. Like, so yeah.
But even in the draft, you can pump a little bit other like. There's characters we're not seeing because we're
what if we resolve it with simply Affleck's on the ground, Shannon's dead on top of him, blood everywhere, Doug walks in.
Yeah, good old Doug.
But you need something like that's a little olive branch that Affleck will be okay because the audience need that.
I love that.
You know what I mean? Like,
it is that you okay, Sean? And he goes over to Castor Troy face Ben Affleck.
Yes.
And it's been the acknowledgement that we know who you are, like underneath or whatever.
What about this then? So Doug is there. He's like, you know, they're talking. It's like, so how are we going to do this? Like you're him. Like you're the bad guy. Like how are we going to go? No, I'm not. Like it's just my face. Like after we set this up earlier on with the fingerprints thing that Shannon and Affleck have this conversation. You know, so Affleck knows at this point that his fingerprints are his own. Yeah. He's like, look, my blood's the same. My motives are the same. My fingerprints are the same. It's just my face. What?
And
it doesn't make it
like he still has the ink in his fingerprints, and he just does that face swipe thing. Doug, they do in Face Off, the first one.
Doug becomes Kiss. Is this a Kiss origin?
Yeah, he's just like here you go. And he just wipes his face, covered in blood and ink.
And it's the badger eyes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
Doug walks in, Tom.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
We just rebooted Face Off,
and that's great because Doug was in that scene. You know what I mean, and Doug was there at the beginning. You had him there. He goes to see him, so it's all linking up. It's all Doug.
Yeah,
Doug didn't exist before. It's amazing.
Face Doug.
Yeah.
Who plays Doug then? If Doug is going to do this, we have to figure out an actor.
He's a bit hefty.
No, who is Doug then? Yeah,
he's a bit hefty. I don't see him as another.
Can we not get John Travolta to play him? Like a little nod. It's a little nod to Face Off.
That's a good point though. Is this the same world as Face Off? Like, did these criminals hear about this crazy thing that happened in the FBI 12 years ago? This experimental.
That's another draft. I don't mind.
Do you know what I mean? But
it could.
But it affects your casting because say you did want to nod, you can't if it's the same world.
That's a good idea. No, I don't think he's that old though. I'm looking.
No, I see Doug as like a Charlie Day kind of guy for some reason, or a Jimmy Fallon. You know, he's okay. I believe he could do the job, but I wouldn't trust him with my life.
I was looking.
He's a Red Sox fan for crying out loud.
I had more of a kind of a heftier, kind of not fat, but like.
So he's like John McClane's buddy, the black guy in the squad car in Die Hard.
Yeah,
that kind of.
What's his name?
Family Matters, Winslow or something.
What's his name? Detective. Gosh.
But yeah, something like that. Yeah. Some guy, okay, I don't know who, but yeah, you get that style. Yeah, that's who I pictured. He looks like a cop, you know?
Yeah.
He's
a generic cop.
Yeah, he just looks like a cop. Oh, the guy from Bunny from The Wire. He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Bunny, the guy who starts Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah, I know him, yeah.
He always plays cop.
Cool.
But yeah, he'd be good. Yeah. All right, so that's it.
Done.
Face Off, rebooted.
Boom.
All right, so
who directs it though?
I think Brian.
Yeah, you.
Brian O'Neill, since he's not here.
Brian O'Neill,
you and Brian do it too.
Yeah, we'll do it. It'll be great.
So what do you think? Would you see that film, Paul?
I actually would. I must say, coming in slightly skeptical. When I heard Face Off, can we do it? It's actually badass. I would watch that movie.
Yeah.
I would watch that movie. Yeah, I would watch that movie.
How about you?
That's it. I'm always worried about what we've done with Gremlins as well. Can we actually make a better version? That is the main thing. Like, you know, we can all make a worse version of it, but I think that is a bit more interesting. It picks up on the flaws of the first one for me. That is like when I watched, it's like, oh, it'd be so much better if he had kept his face, or it'd be so much better if he'd done this, or why did this? They missed an opportunity here and there. I think we're out there covering it.
Okay. Well, let's find out what they think.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think? Was it a hit or was it a dud? Let us know on Twitter at StoryBreakers.
Exactly. What would you change? What would you do yourself? Who would you get to play not only Doug, but Castor Troy and Sean Archer.
We kept getting stuck on Sean Archer, you and I, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm terrible for names. So we've done this in a previous episode where I just been naming characters in there. Like, who the hell are
he
you talking
typed it
about?
in his phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
normally
saying Shannon and Affleck is easier.
Yeah,
it
it
is.
was,
yeah.
But even I got confused though when we were saying Shannon Affleck, but Affleck has Shannon's features, and I was like,
Oh,
oh
that's
my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let us know what you think. And also, so the next episode we're going to do is going to be an original. So we can choose literally any kind of genre. I'm thinking we've done 4 episodes and we've been really shitty to female characters. But no matter what it is, I want let's get some female characters in there.
As well, we've done a lot of things in the past. Let's keep present or future, keep a woman.
Yeah.
And we do any genre, any subgenre, like just any hybrid, whatever you want. Like, just give us some ideas. Let us know where you want to go.
Let us know. And so I think that about wraps it up for now.
That covers everything. Thanks to Film Base for allowing us to use their lovely establishment to record this podcast.
Absolutely.
And thanks to Paul as well, I suppose.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Paul.
cool. Thanks for having me.
Love to get you back on the show soon.
Catch me on @Paul Bushe on Twitter, BUSHE.
Oh, shameless plug there.
There you go. Well, you did say at the beginning. Say it.
Yeah, we should
We'll
have
put it
covered
in the
that.
description. But my name is spelled funny, BUSHE. So
Okay.
there you go.
Excellent. So that's it for now.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm Stephen Ryan.
I'm Paul Bushe.
I'm Chris Brennan. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.